So there's another book I want to talk to you about, but unfortunately I don't have the physical book with me today because I forgot to bring it. But it is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, published in January of 2020. So about a year, still fresh, diba? So a quick synopsis. I have a lot to say about this book, but a quick synopsis of this book. It's like a blend of Harry Potter and Miss Peregrine's ano yun? Orphanage for Peculiar Children or something like that. Nabasa ko na yun, but I just can't remember the title right now. But anyway, it's a blend of that. It's a fantasy, contemporary fantasy story. So it's about this orphanage or a house in the Cerulean Sea who happens to house some very unique and powerful magical children. And Linus, who is the caseworker who works for the department in charge of magical youth, or called Daikomi, he is tasked to go to the house in the Cerulean Sea and kind of assess if that orphanage is safe, and could go on operating. He's there to assess the well-being of the kids, the curriculum of the orphanage, and also to assess the headmaster of that house. So Linus went off to the house in the Cerulean Sea, and that's where his beautiful adventure began. So that's the synopsis of the story. So it is fantasy. It's about magical children who have magical abilities. It is a time where the society acknowledges that certain unique individuals, magical individuals, live with non-magical folks. Parang Harry Potter, di ba? And we're trying to balance how these two types of beings coexist peacefully, right? So that's the foundation of the story, but really this is the story of Linus, the caseworker. Linus is a very jolly, well, maybe jolly is not the word, but he's a very lovable person. He's a very kind person, and he's very diligent with his work. He's one of the best caseworkers in Daikomi, or department in charge of magical youth. So that was also why he was chosen to go to that unique house in the Cerulean Sea. And when Linus went there, he discovers, along the way, the different types of discrimination against these magical youth, these children, and the different types of oppression, maybe, and the secrecy that they have to go through just so they could live peacefully with the other townsfolk, or the people in the town. And along the way also, Linus discovers more about himself, because really before going into the house in the Cerulean Sea, he was just a kind of lonely, sad, but hardworking individual who really wants more out of life but doesn't really quite know how to get it, because he's stuck in a job, in a day-to-day job that for that's been there for most of his life. So he just he doesn't quite know how to move from there. And so this assignment actually came at a good time for him, but he's also a very wary and a very very careful individual. So when he went there into the house, he was surprised about these magical kids and what they can do, and he's a little scared of them. But at the same time, he became enamored by them. He grew to love them and to learn about them, and in his own way, he learned to break down his own biases about these kids, and he understood that at the core of it, they are still kids. They are still children, and they are innocent and pure, and they don't mean bad things to people, right? Because that comes after when you grow up. That the malice, and the bad things come when you grow later in life, when you grow up. But when you're a kid, when you're young and idealistic and pure and innocent, everything is, everything is simple. Kindness is simple. Decency is simple. If you grow up in a loving environment, that's how you become to be. So anyway, this book is a wonderful book. It's really quite it's very positive. It's very light. It's very, paano ba? It's full of love, I should say. I know that may sound corny or whatever, but it is that. The book is filled with little examples of random kindness and decency among humans, among people. And that to me is really touching. It's really a touching, yeah, there you go. It's really a touching and moving story about what it is to be kind, and why you need to be kind, and why it's not so difficult actually. And it's a book that kind of makes you wonder, why do we even have biases and discrimination, when really we all start off the same. We all start off as kids with pure intentions and pure hearts, and innocent and decent, right? So the book kind of shows you that the story tells you that we should sometimes go through life like how a kid or how a child should, because they're very innocent and they just view life very simply, without malice. And that's the story, that's the core of the book. There's no discrimination, and there's no biases with gender or gender preference, or age, or and so on and so forth. And again, these are serious and timeless topics that we go through even in society today. But by the book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, the author T.J. Klune managed to talk about it in a friendly, unthreatening way, and it's just so beautiful. It's really quite nice. So if you're in the mood to read about biases and discrimination, but told in a very innocent and pure way, because really the story is told from Linus's perspective actually, but also shares the viewpoints of the children. And I thought that was very thoughtful and key in the whole story, because that's the point of it, right? When you're a kid, when you're a child, you see everything equally, and just try to understand life as you go through it, and you don't have biases, you don't have discrimination and all that, and that's pure. And that's something that the book, I thought, executed really well. So yeah, so there you have it. It has a lot of poignant moments, a lot of really heartwarming, gut wrenching. And when I say gut wrenching, the things that would really touch you, and make you think and make you feel moments in the book. So I really enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. I don't know if it's a young adult genre, but it is a fantasy genre, and it's kind of Harry Potter style. But I enjoyed it as an adult, so I thought it's a book. I think it's a book for everyone. Just a light read, and something really heartwarming, and really just if you're looking for something good to read, if you want to believe in humanity again, read the book, because that's what it is. It makes you believe in humanity again. It makes you believe in the goodness, in the kindness of people, because it's in us. It's just, maybe buried deep somewhere, but it's there. So that's what the book is about, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's so refreshing, because we have so many books that are so serious, and which is also very relevant, but a lot of books are very serious and very dark sometimes. But this one is light. It has sunshine, it has rainbows, it has all nice sparkle and everything, but at the same time it has depth, it has meaning, it's meaningful, it's all that. So I hope my enthusiasm for the book kind of conveys what's it about, and I hope I did it justice. So I enjoyed it. Do give it a try if you're in the mood for that, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So